Hi, welcome to Anaprime Recap. You and your friends are trapped in an abandoned mansion with a bloodthirsty ghost. We are in the anime, Umezu Kazuo no Noroi. We will start with the first story entitled, What Will the Video Camera Reveal? Rima Agawa is a beautiful girl who transferred to a new school. She has just left Mexico and returned to Japan. In the classroom, her beauty catches the attention of all her classmates. Masami, one of the students, when looking at Rima, has a very strange reaction. The girl looks horrified and can barely move. She faints and is taken to the infirmary. Masami reveals that she felt some sort of weird energy through her body the moment she looked into Rima's eyes. During the night, the girl had a nightmare. When she woke up, despite not remembering what she had dreamed of, she was looking totally terrified. Masami notices that the window is open and, when she looks at her reflection in the mirror, the girl notices a wound on her neck. In the classroom, a classmate questions her about her bandage. She explains that she was injured during the night. The girl removed the bandage to see how the wound was, and it was almost gone. Masami asks where Rima is, as the girl hadn't shown up to class that day. A friend of hers informs her that, according to the boys, the girl was sick. Masami doesn't believe this story and becomes even more suspicious of Rima. On the way back home, the girl gets distracted in her thoughts and, without realizing it, ends up arriving at the Agawa's home. The strange thing is that the girl doesn't remember going to that place before. Masami thinks about ringing the ring bell. But when looking at the window, the girl comes across Rima. When she looks at her, Masami despairs and quickly runs to her house. During dinner, her grandfather reveals that he saw something or someone entering the girl's room through the window the night before. Masami says that this is not possible as her room is on the second floor. But as a security measure, her mother asks the girl to lock her bedroom window before going to sleep. And so she did. Before falling asleep, Masami remembers that these nightmares started right after Rima transferred to his school. In her sleep, the young girl dreams of a monstrous creature violently crashing into her window. Then the glass shatters and huge fangs come towards her. The girl wakes up exhausted and her neck wound is bleeding. In her hands is a hair strand that she believes is Rima's. Putting together everything that was happening, Masami concluded that Rima is a bloodthirsty vampire, who waits for the night to come to attack her. She then tells this theory to her friend Umezu. When she hears what the girl has to say, the young man asks if it's all because Masami is jealous of Rima's beauty. The girl claims she doesn't and reveals that when she woke up that morning, her bedroom window was open and her neck wound was bleeding. Seeing his friend's despair, Umezu takes out his camera and suggests that Masami try to record her room while she sleeps. He goes to the girl's house and installs the device so that it is hidden in, at the same time, with the angle pointed towards the bed. That night, she has the same nightmare. The girl dreams of a creature knocking at her window. The glass breaks and a monstrous mouth comes towards her. The next morning, she is woken up by Umezu and her mother. The girl was screaming desperately, and even after waking up, she was still very scared. Masami says that was the scariest nightmare of her life. She tells that there was a terrifying monster and inside its mouth there were several spiders. The girl still says that she was sucked into the creature, but claims not to remember all the details of the dream. Even awake, her body continues to shiver. Masami claims that what was happening to her was definitely the work of the new girl who entered her school. She remembers the camera installed in her room and asks her mother to leave, while Umezu prepares the tape. But Masami is too scared to watch that recording. So, her friend decides to watch for her. By the end of the video, the young man was completely terrified. His friend asks what he just saw, but Umezu says he needs to leave and advises Masami to watch the recording. The girl resists. She is very afraid of what she might see in the video. Upon opening one of her hands, she realizes that she has been holding a dead spider all this time. That morning, on the way to school, Masami passes again in front of Rima's house. She spots the girl being carried on a stretcher and taken into an ambulance. Her face was completely pale, as if she was totally drained. For Masami, that was more proof that Rima was a vampire. Back in the classroom, her friend informs her that the newbie has been transferred again. The reason was that, supposedly, she had been attacked by a ghost. At the end of the conversation, the girl praises Masami, saying that she is prettier. That night, while looking at herself in the mirror, the girl realizes that she really was prettier and the wound on her neck had healed. Masami theorizes that now that Rima was gone, the curse must have been broken. The girl works up the courage to watch the video, and when she finally gets to know what happened, Masami discovers that the situation is much worse than she imagined. The video shows that during the night she wakes up and her eyes are terrifying. She rips the bandage off her neck and from there grows giant fangs. When watching the video, the girl remembers everything that happened the night before. She was responsible for breaking into Rima's bedroom window and ordering the girl leave her class. She even says that she will absorb all her beauty. The girl's parents were there to defend her, and along with them was Umezu. The father points a gun at the monster, but the young man asks him not to shoot, as that could be Masami. He then hurls a jar full of spiders at the creature's head, which starts screaming. In this way, the young man discovers that she really was his friend, since Masami hated spiders. The creature releases a deadly smoke and Rima tries to stop it using incense used to fight evil spirits. But the demon manages to knock it down and shoves his disgusting tentacle into the girl's mouth, then wraps his fangs all over her face, sucking all the beauty out of her. After seeing the videotape and remembering what happened, Masami goes after Umezu. Seeing the girl transforming into that demonic creature, the young man throws himself out the window and ends up dying. Then Masami destroys the camera and videotape, eliminating all evidence of the attacks she had committed. Does Masami continue to suck the beauty out of other people out there? So be very careful when scars you don't remember mysteriously appear on your body. Now let's move on to the second tale, called The Haunted Mansion. Miko and Nanako are two friends who, on a beautiful night, got together to watch horror movies. Miko is quite fearful, but Nanako is not easily impressed by supernatural stories. While her friend is looking for a new movie to watch together, Nanako goes to the bathroom. Looking out the window, she sees the oldest mansion in town and invites Miko to the terrace. As they look at the abandoned house, Nanako tries to convince her friend to go there with her to explore the place, as the mansion would be demolished in a few days. Miko declines the invitation, claiming that the place is haunted. But Nanako doesn't give up and says that these are just rumors, they would need to go there to find out the truth. Miko is still determined not to go. After all, some stories said that someone had been killed in that place. Nanako says that, in fact, she heard that a person set herself on fire inside the mansion and adds that only by exploring the place they could find out what really happened. Realizing that Miko will not enter that mansion with her, Nanako asks her friend to at least accompany her to the door so she can see that place up close. Even afraid, Miko accepts. During the night, they walk together through the city streets until they reach the entrance of the haunted house, which was surrounded by a wooden wall. As they were talking, someone approached Miko from behind and covered her eyes. The girl screams in despair, but soon realizes that it's just two other classmates from her school trying to scare her. Nanako knocks over one of the wooden boards and the three girls enter the property. Miko stays behind, but is afraid to return home alone and ends up following her friends. After entering the house, the doors close and Nanako says it was just the wind. At that moment, the girl's flashlight goes out. Despite being terrified, the girls continue exploring the place. Miko finds an old lamp and manages to light it. When looking ahead, they see a huge frame on the wall with a picture of a woman. The girls continue to search the house. Miko tries to convince them to come back, but Nanako wants to see every room in that place. They then arrive at a child's room full of toys. Miko opens a music box, where there were some jewelry. When she tries to pick it up, the box starts to overflow with blood. She looks around and sees blood coming out everywhere. The girl is terrified and closes her eyes to escape that scene. When she opens them again, she realizes that it was just her imagination. Miko spots her friends standing around a crib. Arriving there, she sees a scary doll. Nanako lifts the doll's dress and the girls realize it was stained with blood. At that moment, she turns to Miko and calls her to leave, but the girls are paralyzed. Miko points back in. As she looks, the girl spots a ghost standing in the corner of the room. Nanako takes one of the toys and throws it at the creature, which approaches the young women with its devilish smile. The girls even try to run away, but Riko is soon killed. Her body is cut into several different parts, completely ripping off her head. Then the ghost goes after the other girls and makes its second victim, who has the same fate as Riko. Miko realizes there's no way to save her anymore. When trying to escape, the girl falls down the stairs. She opens her eyes and sees Nanako's head rolling on the floor. Just behind her, the haunting approaches. Apparently, the creature hasn't given up catching the girl yet. Already in her room, Miko wakes up scared. The girl can't tell if what just happened was a nightmare. She looks at herself in the mirror and her face resembles that of the demonic creature that wiped out her friends. But when she looks again, everything seems normal. On her way to school, she runs into Riko and is relieved to see that her friend is fine. Now Miko is convinced that it was all a nightmare, until Riko shows her a scar, which the girl doesn't remember where she got it. Soon after, the other girl appears. Looking at her legs, Miko sees the same scars and, again, freaks out. After running away, she verifies that there is nothing like that in her body. So, she goes after her best friend, Nanako. Upon arriving in the room, she notices that the girl also has a scar on her neck, as if her head had been sewn together. The girls get together and decide to go back to the mansion to find out what happened there. Needless to say, this was a bad idea. They go upstairs and come across that cursed doll. Next to her is a body of a girl. Miko holds her by the hair and lifts her head to see who that girl is. At that moment, what she most feared happens. Miko discovers that it is her own body. Apparently, the girl had been killed along with her friends the night before. Then she transforms into the haunting that reigned over that mansion, and all the girls have their limbs cut off again, exactly where the scars were. Did the girls really manage to escape the mansion and were killed the moment they returned? Or was this just a dream they had moments before their death? Be very careful when entering an abandoned house at night. So what did you think of this anime? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more anime recaps. See you next time.